I think we have a good group, so we can get started. So welcome everyone. Happy April. Thanks for joining our monthly volunteer meeting. I'm Christine Frandsen. I'm the Executive Director of BikeWalk Provo. And just to get us started, I'd like to run around the horn and have everybody do a brief introduction. Give us your name, and your involvement in BikeWalk Provo. So Chelsea, can you start us off?
Sure. Hi, I'm Chelsea, and I'm the Communications Director with BikeWalk Provo.
Ooh, I should also ask a fun question. What are your plans with the warm weather? What are you excited about?
I'm excited about my garden. I have a small garden in my backyard, and I'm excited to get it going.
Perfect. All right, Alistor, you're next. Can you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Alistor Skabelund. I am a video editor here at BikeWalk Provo, and I'm excited to be tending to our lawn in our new house. So that's exciting.
Nice. Rachel, will you introduce yourself?
Yes. Okay. So I'm Rachel Whipple. I'm on the Provo City Council, and I have volunteered with BikeWalk in, I don't know, little capacities over the last 10 years, something like that, before it was BikeWalk. So here I am. And for spring, I am really, really excited to work in the garden and sit on my patio again.
Yes. Thanks for joining, Rachel. Aaron?
Yeah, I'm Aaron Skabelund. I am the Director of Operations, and I am joining you live from New York.
It's Saturday night. Oh, Thursday night.
Yes. And I am, the conference doesn't start until tomorrow night. And today I was conducting research all day. So tomorrow it's not going to be raining here, and it's going to be sunny. So I'm going to ride around the island of Manhattan.
Very nice. Stan, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, Stan Morris. I'm writing some BikeWalk Provo stories and looking forward to more biking. It's a little chilly this winter, so I did it, but there were a few rides I missed, I'll admit.
Yeah, I'm excited to shed a few layers.
Thank you.
Jacob Brooks. I think we have multiple Jacobs.
Oh yeah, we have too many Jacobs here, right? I'm Jacob Brooks. I'm the graphic designer, I guess. I have no idea what you guys want me for, but we'll find that out, right? I also work in the rack team as well, and I look forward to getting over my seasonal depression. So
nice. And who is your assistant today?
Oh, this is Charlie, my son. Yeah. Wait.
Welcome, Charlie and Jacob.
My dog. All right.
All right, and Elder Morris.
Hi, everyone. I have a lot of exciting things going on as a service missionary and bike safety involvement, but I'm trying to think of one major exciting thing that's happening. I'm going to start helping a group of kids who ride BMX bikes to learn some road cycling skills pretty soon. That's pretty exciting. Awesome. I do a lot of teaching bike safety skills and rehab to a lot of people in the community. That's something I'm really excited about.
Awesome. And yeah, you said you're in Florida, right?
I'm in Florida now,
okay.
And it's always sunny.
Nice. You lucky duck. Kira.
Hi, Kira Johnson. I am the director of Provo Bicycle Collective, and something that I'm excited about with the warmer weather is, well, I'm always excited about this even in cold weather, but I love bird watching, and it's nice with new birds coming in.
Very cool. Heather.
Skabelund. It's Rachel. I've kind of been dipped in and out of the bike committee for a long time. And I'm excited to camp at some point.
Nice. Logan.
Hi, I'm Logan Millsap. I'm from the Hubble Creek Bike Association down in Springville. So I like to kind of keep some good connections between your organization and ours, and maybe we can work in tandem.
Yeah, we're excited to hear from you today. You're one of our presenters. And Matt Parker, another one of our presenters today. Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Matt Parker. I'm with UDOT. I'm the Region 3 Program Manager, and just here to present kind of some projects that are coming your way. And then I'm looking forward to dumping my Zwift account and riding outside a lot more.
Very good. Bremen.
Hey everybody, Bremen League, BYU Sustainability. Oh, I don't know. I bike to work. I helped with the Cougar Cruise about a week ago. It was a lot of fun. And this summer I look forward to sweating again. I moved here from the Midwest. Well, I moved here from Manhattan, Aaron, so enjoy that while you're out there. Originally from the Midwest, so I love me some humidity and good sweating.
Very nice. Clark.
Hi, I'm Clark Pixton, Director of Data and Research at BikeWalk Provo. I am the last member of my family to get a scooter, not an e-scooter or a Vespa, just like a kick scooter. It's fun with the kids, so I'm excited to get out on the Provo River Trail and go to some parks and enjoy.
Oh, fun. All right, James.
So I'm James Hall. I am the tour guide for any of our city official tours. And I'm guessing I joined a little bit late, but the question is, are we excited for the warm weather?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I've already gotten several good rides in. I'm looking forward to many more this summer.
Awesome. Austin.
Hey guys, this is Austin. I'm a board member for BikeWalk Provo.
Are you excited for the warm weather?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
All right. And then we have some non-video too. If you're here and can talk, introduce yourself. Jeremy. We see you.
Okay.
We hear you.
Hi, Jeremy. I just got a position in BikeWalk Provo to do some photography, and I got an electric scooter recently, so I'm going out being a menace on an electric scooter. So
Awesome. We're gonna put you to work. Bike month's coming up, so you'll have plenty of photo ops. Dakota.
Yeah, I'm Dakota. I'm part of the BikeWalk Provo's board. So I'm excited about just everything summer.
Yeah.
Swimming, more biking, everything.
Looks like you're in action today. Way to represent.
Yeah, I bike to work, but it's only it's real close, so it doesn't really count.
It counts. Aspen.
Hi, I'm Aspen. I work with Provo City, and so I'm doing daycare pickup right now. And I'm just jumping on today to maybe talk a little bit about, we're going to do a bike-in movie during Bike Month, and we just love to coordinate with what the rest of Bike Month is doing so that we can add to it.
Okay, awesome. We'll give you a few minutes at the end if that works for you. And then Rob Hunter.
I'm Rob. I'm the city transportation engineer. And besides, I only gave myself to April 1st before I couldn't use the excuse that it was too cold to ride my bike to work. So I've been riding to work the last week, and then also all the flowers are coming out in our yard. It's what's getting me excited for warm weather.
That's awesome. Thanks for joining. All right, well, we have a good agenda today. I'm just going to make a few announcements to kick us off. Two opportunities coming up for our volunteers to table at some events that are happening surrounding Earth Day. So I'm going to post that on our Slack channel. If you're not on our Slack channel and would like to be, please put a comment and I can add you. But those dates are April 22nd and May 7th. So if you're interested and available to represent BikeWalk Provo on either of those days, I can give you time, location, details as well. I think that was my only introduction or only announcement. Kira, did you have any announcements from the collective?
No, I guess I don't.
Okay.
Yep.
No, did you fill your job listing, or are you still looking?
We hired 2 new mechanics. Both have been volunteers with us, Jen Hartman and Nicholas Zani Morales, and they're awesome. They're killing it.
Very cool.
It's been great. Come on by for all your bike needs.
Okay, thank you. All right, well, I'm going to hand it off then. Our first item on the agenda is Chelsea has an exciting world premiere video to show us.
Thanks, Christine. You're such a good facilitator. So I'm not going to take up too much time. I just wanted to thank you all for coming. We have a really, really exciting video to share today. It's a how to install a bike rack in concrete video. And our organization has been, as many of you know, installing bike racks in coordination with businesses throughout Provo, which makes Provo a more bikeable place. And what we found through Austin, I think was the one who mentioned it, was that there's not a good video on YouTube about how to like install a bike rack. And so we were installing a bike rack back in February. I took some video footage with my iPhone, and then I have no experience editing videos. So we brought in Alistor, and Alistor created this super cool video that I'm so excited to share with you. And we're hoping that it'll not only help us here in Provo, but it'll get out to the world, hence the world premiere, and other people will be able to utilize it. And Alistor, I don't know if you have anything to share or say about the video before I share it.
Yeah, I could share a couple of things. So I guess for those who've seen, I guess the BikeWalk Provo chats that I've edited in the past, which were basically Zoom conversations re-edited to an interview kind of thing. I think all of you can agree that I was a decent editor and maybe even a good editor, but I all I can say is that it's all thanks to my current job, editing YouTubers on a daily basis for a living, that kind of allowed me to kind of take a different approach with this video to make it much more, engaging, a lot more, I guess, attention grabbing in a way. So I think I'm up there now with this video. So I hope you guys all enjoy what I've done, what I've edited together. So
thank you so much. All right, so I will share this, and I tested it out with my sister earlier to make sure that it buffers and works well. But if it doesn't, I'll put it on YouTube in case you want to watch it again. So I'll go ahead and do that right now. Okay. Can I get a thumbs up that you see that? Whoops, sorry. I forgot to do the most important part, which is click optimize for video clip. Christine, could you unmute and let me know that you can see this?
I can see it. It's
Perfect.
Not full screen. If you want to put it full screen, it would be a little bigger.
Okay, let's see.
And we do have like a gray box. Maybe your Zoom is kind of in front of it.
Okay.
Not sure if we can adjust that.
The gray panel at the top, is that what you're referring to?
No, on the right side of the screen, but I think it's okay. I think we'll see. Oh, yeah.
Is that better?
I think it'll work. Yeah, we might just miss a little bit of the bottom right-hand corner.
Okay, sorry. I thought that apparently it's different this time around. Okay,
no
well,
problem.
I'll show it to you, and you can go watch it later if it's not quite perfect.
Yep.
Okay.
This is Austin Taylor. Today we're at North Park Plaza in Provo, Utah, and I'm going to show you how to install a bike rack. So I'll explain to you the tools you need to install a bike rack into concrete. Today we have a standard hammer. Any kind of hammer will do just fine. The second, the most important tool is the Rotary Hammer. This is a heavy duty drill that will drill through concrete, asphalt, brick. You need at least a 1-inch size rotary hammer. I have a 1.5 that works just as well. For the drill bit, about 90% of the time I use the 3/8 inch size drill bit, and that's worked with every bike rack that I've installed. So there are a few different fasteners you can use to anchor the bike rack into concrete. This one that was shipped with the bike rack is the concrete spike, and this is what you want to use if you're 100% sure that the bike rack's in an okay location and it's not going to cause any problems. This is the most permanent and the most secure of anchor systems. We might use this today, but more than likely we're going to go with the wedge anchor. If you go with the wedge anchor, then you'll also need some sort of wrench to tighten down the wedge anchor. So we're ready to start drilling. So we're going to drill a hole for every hole that's in the bike rack. We'll go almost the full depth of the drill bit. I've drilled the hole in the concrete. I've gone basically the full depth of this drill bit. So now I'll take the wedge anchor, make sure that the nut is protecting the threads on the anchor. And you just drop it in, whack it down in the hole as deep as you can get it. And as I tighten it, that wedge anchor will start expanding so that it fastens itself into the concrete. Just go as tight as you can without breaking. And we'll want to repeat that on all of the holes. So let's talk about spacing the bike rack. So the Association of Pedestrian and Bicycle Professionals has a guide online that you can look this up on. You want to have at a minimum 2 feet between the bike rack and any fixed object. So I use my feet, measure 2 feet generally. This would be the minimum distance. I can go farther if I want to, if I have the room. That same 2-foot rule applies with the front and the back of the bike rack. I want to make sure I'm at least 2 feet away from the pillars or anything else. Now, if I'm installing multiple bike racks in a row, the guideline is to have 3 feet between those. So again, I take my foot, I go 1, 2, 3, and because my foot is about 1 foot, I'd be 3 feet away. All these guidelines are minimums. You can absolutely go larger if you have the space.
Can we give him a round of applause, Alistor? You're awesome.
Very nice. Good work. And thank you, Austin, for the clear instructions. So it's going to go viral. Okay, any questions on the installation video? I saw a few things coming in the chat. Is there anything there we need to address? Yeah, good. I hope it was helpful. Okay, next on our agenda, we have Matt Parker from UDOT. So Matt, take it away.
All right, I have a few things to kind of bring up here. Thanks, Aaron, for inviting me and letting me go through this. Got a bit of news, and I'm going to send out a link so you can see our Region 3 bike plan and how it ties into your city and ties into the other cities adjacent to you. So I'm going to send that to you right now. You have it for the future. And then I will share my screen here. Okay, so we are currently in design on a couple projects that are probably going to be some pretty big. Can you see the screen that I'm sharing right now?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, I just want to make sure that I'm not just talking and you can't see it. So the first one is US 89 or 3rd South in Provo from University Avenue over to 500 West. So that section of pavement is pretty old, and we're actually going to be reconstructing that. And we've been working with Provo to try to actually add some bike lanes onto it to connect up what we did a few years ago on the east side of University Avenue and connect that up to what we did on 500 West like the last couple of years. So there will be connectivity between those two projects. And we're also putting in a signal, a bike signal on, I believe it's 3rd West and 1st West. Similar to what we did on 3rd East on the east side of Provo. So if you're familiar with that signal, I'm pretty sure most of you are, that allows bikes to just cross right here in the center of the intersection. So I'm sure most of you have probably used it, but we're planning to do that for connectivity to the on 1st West, and that will tie into a railroad, a structure that's a PED structure that's gonna go over the railroad crossing and tie into the train station there. So that project is actually a MAG project, and it did get funded, and I think they're pretty close to advertising that so it can go to construction. But that will allow the pedestrians and cyclists to be able to get up and over the tracks when there's a train on the tracks. That's a pretty big problem down there. You guys are a lot more familiar with it than I am, but I do know the frustration of trying to cross those tracks when there's a train there. And then another project that we actually got some funding for was to replace the viaduct structure that goes over the railroad tracks. And that's always been an issue for active transportation. I know the sidewalk is very narrow and there's no bike lane over that. And so we are planning to put on, I believe 8-foot shoulders so there will be room for for bikes, and a 10-foot sidewalk for people to be able to use that without being in conflict on the sidewalk as well. So I think those are some big improvements. That one will be delivered a lot later just because we have to deal with the railroad and all their permitting issues. So it's probably going to be a few years before that actually gets to be replaced. But the project here on 3rd South, that should be under construction next year. So, and then hopefully you can see what I'm pulling up here now. Got to pull up one other thing. If I can find it. I may have closed it. Give me just a second here.
We had a question, Matt.
Okay. Absolutely.
Will the lanes over the viaduct be protected?
They probably will not, but I guess that's not a fixed thing yet. The only issue is we end up having a lot of issues with drainage and snow plows and things if we put a protected area there. And I guess there are alternatives to using that, on 3rd West, and also there will be a structure over the railroad tracks on 1st West. But I can bring that up as a concern and see what we can come up with. I know it's been a concern on 500 West, and it's a concern for all of us in UDOT, at least in our region. And I know Heidi's been looking at some alternatives to being able to put some temporary bollards on in the summer and then take them down in the winter so that we can plow and not interfere with our operations. Mm-hmm. I have not seen any good results on that, at least yet, but I know Heidi was looking into it. But I don't think she's on here yet. So
yeah. Okay.
But I'll follow up with that and get back with someone from your group if you don't mind.
Thank you. And then the other one is about the pedestrian bridge. Will it will allow bikes to cross as well?
Yeah, I'm sure. So they are putting in elevators as well as stairs. So there should be a way for people to get their bikes in and go up and over the tracks and then get back down.
Okay. And the second part of that question is any thought on, just lost it. Any thought on when it would extend to cross 600 South as well as the tracks?
Sorry. For that. sorry, I'm not quite understanding the question.
Yeah, and Rachel, do you want to clarify it all?
Yeah, I think was it one of the original plans for that bridge to cross from all the way over 600 South and the tracks and connect into the development?
I believe it does. Aaron's nodding his head yes, but you're muted, Aaron.
Yeah, mill race will make that possible, Rachel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's not a UDOT project, but it is a MAG project, and we were just involved in making sure that goes to the Transportation Commission and gets the extra funding. We are participating financially as well, especially the bid environment right now, and our costs are going up quite dramatically, and so we had to add some funds, and so UDOT participated, Utah County did, and MAG. So it's been it's kind of a challenge right now, a lot of our projects, but yeah, so I am somewhat familiar with it, but not 100%. So, but yeah, I believe it does go over both.
Yeah, Matt, I can speak to that a little bit. This is Rob. So the original plan, so that it'll be built to where it can be extended in the future, and there's not an immediate plan of when that can happen. The reason why it's not happening right now is the original anticipated budget was 4.7 million, I think, for the bridge, and that has already gone to the final number is 7.4 million without even crossing 6 South, just the making it nicer, putting in the elevator, doing things that'll be easier during the winter for crossings, and just construction pricing, especially for concrete structures, is just going through the roof. And so where it was climbing so high already without even crossing 6 South, it just wasn't, even as we tried to, we got everybody, UTA added some, MAG added some, UDOT added some, we got some through the community development block grants, and we all added more to it, and it still wasn't enough to get across 6 South. So yes, there is a plan to get across in the future, but just with construction prices the way they are, I don't have a hard date on when we plan to do that yet.
Thanks, that's really helpful. Logan, did you have a question?
Yeah, well, more just a detailed design thing. The elevator at the pedestrian bridge at the Orem station, kind of by UVU, has some glass doors, which look really nice when they're not broken, but for this is the third time right now today that they've been broken in the last 3 months, I think. So I don't know if there's some way to kind of avoid that, but something to consider so that it looks nice and stays nice.
Okay, that's a good point. I know that when we partner with other entities, sometimes we have to give in on what we would prefer to put in, and I'm sure that was part of what one of those our partners preferred to have for the aesthetics version. So sometimes it's good in theory, but sometimes it doesn't quite work. So that's good input. I'll make sure that that's brought up with MAG and see what the plan is, and I'll take a note of that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Sorry, I'm just taking it
We
out.
distracted you from your original plan to pull up the next section. So.
No, I've got it ready. So just give me just a second.
No problem.
Okay. So I will share my screen again. So the next one, it's an update from a project that's been a long time in the process, and hopefully you're seeing my screen again, because it disappeared on my other screen. But yeah, this is the Provo River Parkway and the extension from Vivian Park up to the Deer Creek Dam. So it's a very tricky project, and a lot of issues that constructability issues and things. But we did secure more funding, and we are able to go through forward with advertising it. We're trying to discuss what is the best way to actually advertise the project so it can be constructed. But we're planning to have it awarded by the end of the year and be under construction next year. And does anybody have any questions about that? And I can go through and kind of show you some pictures and things of kind of the challenges that we have in there, and give you a little more information about it if you'd like. Okay. All right. Let me see. Can you see my
Yes.
my screen? Okay. All right. So I probably have, need to get back out because it started. Okay, that is right. So this project, part of the project is we're going to be removing this structure, and anybody that's floated the river on tubes or anything like that, they would not realize or recognize the structure and the danger that's there. We're going to replace this structure with a clear span structure so people can just stay in the river and go right through and not hit any abutments or anything. So all that danger will be gone. So there's, we're in partnership actually with Utah County, Wasatch Counties, kicking in some money, and UDOT. So there's a whole bunch of us that are kicking in quite a bit of money to make sure that this happens, but it's going to connect about 100 miles of trail from all the way from Salt Lake all the way up into Wasatch County. And we have plans to, we haven't secured funding yet, but we're working on getting some funding to pave the existing trail that's along Deer Creek all the way up into Midway. And eventually there's kind of a plan to connect it all the way up into Hennifer and on down through Mountain Green and on into Ogden and make like a 200-mile loop. So it's, but this is kind of the crux and the most difficult section of the whole loop, is just because we have a lot of constraints. We have the railroad tracks, we have I'll show you some pictures here. We have very little room between the hill and the river, and then the railroad tracks are there. And actually, as part of the project, we've gone through a cost analysis, and it's actually cheaper for us to remove the tracks, build the trail, and then put the tracks back in and move the tracks over a little bit. So, but we have to build what we call coffer dams. It allows us to put things in the river, de-water where we're constructing, and then build the trail, and then we pull those coffer dams back out. There's going to be quite a bit of walls on the trail, and but it's going to be a really kind of a neat and exciting project because you'll be right next to the river on quite a bit of it. So we have went through quite a few different concepts. This isn't, more than likely is not anything that you're going to see on the project, but it was kind of interesting. I know there's some of this down on a project that UDOT built down in Moab along the river there. So it's going to be a little bit similar to that, how the project's going to look. But that's kind of, just wanted to give you an update on that. I know it's been a long time coming. We've been a little bit frustrated with how long it's taken, but we've had to go through a lot of engineering to try to get to make sure that our costs were reduced as much as possible, and also make sure that we're doing the least damage to wetlands and the environment through there. And we've really done a pretty exhaustive effort in that. So those are kind of the.
Thank you for your efforts. This is exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited about it because that's my commute route too.
Yeah.
So
this is very cool.
Yeah. So any questions?
Just timeline. Do you have kind of an expected timeline of construction?
Yeah, so there are some long lead items on this. So we're trying to order, say, the steel for the structures, some materials for the walls, possibly before we even get a contractor on board, because those can take 6 to 9 months or even longer to get, and that will allow the construction to possibly start next spring. And more than likely, it's going to be a 2-season construction, just because it is located on the north side of the mountain in quite a bit of the project area. So that kind of gives us a very limited amount of time to build throughout the year. But you know, the Heber Valley Railroad's been very understanding. They realize that they're not going to be able to run their trains through there for a while. But they're also, you know, going to be able to get some new track out of it, a new structure, and it'll be a very I think it's going to be a very popular section of the trail. So.
Oh, that's awesome. Any questions from the group for Matt on this or the previous agenda item?
Matt, it's exciting to hear about the intersection on third south with the connection to the hub there. I know there's been talk with UDOT roads in Provo generally. We've been doing a lot of great work on the bike lanes, but there's still some intersections that can be a little hairy. Wondering if you have any updates or information about like bike boxes or 2-stage queue stuff. Any updates there?
Yeah, we were going to be working on that with Heidi, and she went on sabbatical for a while, and now she's back. So I think we can resume some of that design and that discussion. I know, I think it was Bulldog and University Avenue was one of them. Am I correct? And I think we are going to be going out. I know we had some issues with one of the intersections on 5th West. And I think we're going to be going out and painting that and hopefully providing a little bit safer crossing for everybody through there. And so I guess I would request an email with some of your concerns and some of the intersections you would like us to look at, so that we can further that discussion.
Awesome. Yeah, happy to do that. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Yeah, can I also ask about the intersection of 300 South and 700 East?
Okay.
So in that one, we have where it goes 3rd South, the road turns onto South State Street.
Yes.
For this right turn, but the bike lane is going straight through it. And so we have this conflict that's not been resolved. Let's see.
Yeah, I'm pretty familiar with that intersection.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know our treatment through there.
So the treatment is that the bike lane is just on the right side of the street there, but there can be 1 to 2 lanes turning right on that green light, with the bike going straight across to and not turning right.
Yeah, there's a conflict there because they're going through, turning right, and you're trying to go straight, and you can get taken out.
Yeah, and that's happened.
So
I've also gotten a report of an accident where a car was avoiding hitting the cyclist and so got hit because they, were trying to not kill someone. But we really need to figure out something better here.
Okay. Yeah, if we can just get that on the list, that's something that we can definitely look at and see what we can do to. That one's tricky for sure, but we can at least give our best shot at trying to figure that out.
Yeah, years ago when they were working on the plans and designs for this, we talked about maybe putting in one of those bike signals. Have you seen those where it signals for the bike to go? And I think that was too wild and crazy of an idea at the time.
Yeah, we have them. I mean, we put them up between Region 2 or up in kind of where Redwood Road crosses up over into the Salt Lake County. And so we put some up there. So it's not unheard of for UDOT to do that.
Yeah, these conversations were probably in 2014 and 2015. So it was a while ago when we're doing this redesign at it.
We put in bike signals since then. So
yeah.
I'm going to move us just to our next agenda item. We have 2 more things we want to get to in just 20 minutes. So Matt, thank you so much. And if there are any others, it sounds like Matt's open to receiving emails on these specific areas that might need a little more attention. Thanks, Matt. This was awesome to hear about.
You're welcome.
Next up, we have Logan. Logan is with the Hobble Creek Bike Association. He introduced himself at the beginning. But during Free Fair February, Logan went the literal extra mile and really took advantage of that experience. And we wanted to hear, kind of a little bit about that and learn from Logan's findings during Free Fair February. So Logan, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much for that introduction. If it's all right, I could wait till the end since mine is kind of fluff and planning Bike Month stuff is a little more important. Would you like to do Bike Month first?
I'm going to have you go first, and then Heather and Aaron will go after. So if you can take about 8 minutes, we'll give them the last 10. Does that work?
Yep, that works great.
Okay, thank you.
Let me make sure I'm sharing my screen properly. Can y'all see that?
Yes, looks great.
Okay, let's see. Now I had a fancy presentation, but something went wrong with it. So you get the bare bones one that it existed as in its rough draft form. So the 25th of January, it was announced that Free Fair February was going to happen. So it's mostly put on by Salt Lake City, working with UTA and a few other partners. And in that time, we kind of got excited. There was some buzz online in some of the online groups talking about like, what are you going to do with Free Fair February? I think Austin Taylor joked about how he was just going to ride the Park City, Salt Lake City Connect back and forth all day, using their Wi-Fi. And so there was this sense that this was something new and exciting, an opportunity that I didn't want to let pass. And I was talking with my wife, Danielle, kind of just saying, oh, this is so cool. And she said to me like, oh, are you going to do Bus Month? Because in 2020 for Bike Month, there was a Provo, you guys and Provo City put together a contest for like people posting Bike Month stuff. And I jumped really headfirst into that. I tried to post something every single day of Bike Month, some fun bike adventure, really hyping up bikes. It was a ton of work, but it was a lot of fun. So my wife naturally went, so you're going to do Bus Month, right? And that's what I did. Basically, I just started posting one thing every day, just trying to hype up transit, make it seem exciting and fun, because it is exciting and fun. We all know that. But sometimes if people haven't done transit, it feels intimidating. So I was just looking for interesting shots, trying to think like, how can I make what normally people think of like, oh, the bus, like if you're poor, you ride the bus, right? If you don't have a car, you ride the bus. But I wanted to really kind of draw people's attention to the fun aesthetic of it, the adventure of it. Like, for example, this image I posted with a caption of some of the things that I saw on transit that night. There was a cute little kid squealing in delight as the train pulled into the station. There was, when I got off the train that evening, like there was this, it was like a movie, this woman getting off the train with all of her luggage and this guy coming to meet her, and like they both just kind of collided into each other's arms, and it, reunited love. Just really, really fun stuff. This was a collaboration with Sweet Streets when they gave us a tour around some of the cool stuff they have going on. So I hyped up how transit connects cities and allows for coordination between cities. This was me trying to tie like, look, you can use transit to get to the great outdoors. So this is, you know, frozen Utah Lake. Some shots are more aesthetic than others. This one, you know, I need a shot, I need a post. So here's a shot of Utah Lake from the train. I was on my way to that rally up at the Capitol. I think I saw Bremen and a few others there. Some shots I didn't end up using because they were just kind of, you know, like I liked them, but I didn't want anyone to see these and think like, oh, look, there's the train, empty as usual. My rule in my posting was only positive, only good stuff. I want people to really come away with an idea of how cool transit is. Some cool aesthetic shots. Fun date night. You guys know the UVX is fantastic. So my wife and I, we use that all the time, and it's always free. So it's fantastic. Multimodal, sometimes, you know, Sunday transit options for me down in South County are pretty limited, and all of Utah County is quite limited. So sometimes I would take photos beforehand, save them as ammunition to use on Sundays. Some photos I thought were really great, like this great piece of art at Provo Station. No one really, I don't know, I like it, but I ended up getting like 3 likes on it. So maybe it doesn't jive with everyone else, but that's all right. I tried to hype up the amenities that our transit system has. So like, here's the front runner, free Wi-Fi, bike racks, bathrooms, 2 levels, lots of space, right? I tried to hype up the human connection. So this is one of my favorite bus drivers, Jeff. He's like, drives smooth as butter. It's really fun. This was the video that we filmed that we saw at the beginning. I took the bus to that. So it really, having a good transit system means that, so my wife and I live car free, and it means that I can get to these places and I can hurry from class to this bike installation and then hurry home in time for my meetings. Without transit, using just my bike, that sometimes isn't possible. Christine mentioned going the literal extra mile. I came up with this crazy idea. I'm going to go to the farthest north point, the farthest south point, the farthest east point, the farthest west point. So this is me on my way north to Brigham City. That's as far as you can get on the UTA system. Visited a family member who has a fun shop there, and met up with a bunch of family members I haven't seen for a while. This was a fun date night with my little siblings. The fun thing about this one is I remember a particular time when me and my younger brothers, not this time, but me and my younger brothers just for fun rode around on the UVX and walked around downtown Provo, and it's one of the most special memories I have of some of my siblings because they're no longer with us. So transit is something that we can create incredible, wonderful memories around, and I'm forever grateful for that. This, my sister Kimberly and her husband Mark, they took their kids on a bicycle road trip all the way from West Valley City down to where we live here in Springville, pedaling on their cargo bike and their fat tire bike here the whole way. And then of course they use transit to get home. So transit enables fun new adventures that aren't otherwise possible. This was date night or date evening to Gardner Village. I tried to hype up some of the resources people can use for transit. So this is the transit app. If you are trying to get into transit and you feel overwhelmed, I highly recommend, it's just called Transit, the app. It lets you plan routes. It lets you look up bus schedules. It's super useful. And you can kind of have a fun little game where you like compete to see how many riders you help and that kind of thing. This was the day that I headed west. This is the farthest west point to Tooele. That's the very farthest west stop. It was really fun. There was a really great driver who just chatted with me the whole ride out past the Great Salt Lake and told me funny stories. I think transit is the most human I mean, aside from like walking and biking, like it's such a great human way to get around. This is the day that I went south to the Rolly Red Barn. Secretly, you can't get all the way to the Rolly Red Barn on transit. I took my bike, pedaled from the bus stop to the bread barn, and then back to, I actually had to go back to Payson all the way. But you know that when you ride your bike pretty often, you realize that things aren't as far as they seem, and it's really easy to get from one place to another. This day I did a field trip with some friends who are school teachers, and it's easy to forget that school buses are a form of transit. In other cities where they have they're much more compact development, and we don't have these suburban schools that get pushed out to the edge of town. Kids just ride the regular city bus to school. But here, where we have incentivized sprawl, we have this really expensive extra layer of transit that we call school buses. And so it's another reason that we should do compact, walkable, bikeable development, because it allows our regular transit system to function for everybody, including children. This was when streets came down to Provo. So again, it's a lot of collaboration and making new friends and meeting new people that wouldn't be possible without transit, particularly free transit, because FrontRunner, as you know, is fairly pricey. This was my kind of like grand finale when I went to the farthest east point on the UTA network. So I went all the way east on Park City, Salt Lake City Connect to Park City. And then Park City, as you know, has a free fare all the time transit system. So I went to their furthest east point, which is this bus stop here. And then there's a new transit called High Valley Transit. And I rode that all the way to Camas, the Camas Valley. So I'm excited to repeat that this summer, now that the weather is warmer, and get up into the Uinta Mountains all on transit and bikes. So really excited for that. And then this was my very last post, the end of the line as far as we go. I kind of snuck into, don't tell UTA officials, but I snuck into past their locked gate to get this photo. There's the map of the full transit system, you know, all the north, south, east, west points. I can share some more details, but I might be past my 8 minutes already. Are you okay if I keep going, Christine? Or
you know, I'm gonna have, this is what I would love to do. If you could put in your chat your Instagram handle so that everyone can go and follow your adventures, look at all the posts that you did during Free Fair February, and message you too with questions, if that would be okay.
Certainly, yeah. I'd love that.
Thank you. Yeah, this is awesome. It was such a great example of, you know, just how you can use public transit in different ways and where you can go. And you are awesome. You're a great example to us.
Thank you. And like I said at the beginning, it's the stuff that BikeWalk Provo does that inspires me. And I wouldn't have done this crazy adventure without some of the fun things that you guys organized back in 2020. So thank you.
Oh, good. Awesome. And Elder Morris, I think, has a question. If you have time to take we can take a quick question.
Okay. So my question is, Logan, what our initiative is very focused on wrong way riding. And what advice would you have for me on making that initiative to local government and getting citizens excited about getting educated about safe riding practices?
Obviously, just high volume content sometimes gets a lot of attention. You know, me posting every single day was kind of exhausting, but garnered attention. And also, always be very positive. Obviously, I could have posted about the things that I don't like about transit. I have a lot of photos for that too.
Right.
But yeah, you attract more flies with honey than vinegar, as they say, right? So
like we post things like, this is how I love riding with traffic. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
So you
kind of do that positive sandwich where you have a positive thing and then the negative thing, like, hey, don't ride against traffic, and then another positive thing, so that it feels really good and people take that in a little easier. I think. I don't know. I'm not an expert.
I do really appreciate that advice. That's great. I love that, Logan.
Thank you.
Thank you both. Okay, so Heather, and we'll have a few minutes left, and if anyone can stay an extra few minutes, that works for us too. We'll leave the Zoom link open. But Heather's going to give us a little preview of Bike Month, which is May, so coming up soon. So Heather, it's all you.
Okay, I'm going to run through these quickly since we're low on time. I'm going to first talk about all the events that we have a pretty secure date on. And then there's quite a few also that are tentative or are pretty for sure, but we don't know dates. So starting early on 4:30 on April 30th, end of the month, there's the Tree ID and Provo River Bike Bio Blitz. May 5th, of course, is the Bike to Work or Anywhere Day. May 6th, downtown Provo is going to do the Downtown Art Stroll and Roll. And then the Bike Collective is also doing an evening social ride that night. Is that, Kira, is that to kind of into downtown stroll? Is that
yeah, my thought is doing the mural tour and then end kind of downtown for folks to do the art stroll.
Okay, great. And then May 7th, Conserve Utah Valley has a Slate Canyon event from 9 to noon. May 13th, again, Bike Collective is doing a morning social ride. It sounds like that's going to go to Utah Lake and be a breakfast ride at like 7:30. May 14th is the Golden Spoke ride, which is done by UDOT. And there's also a potential Amtrak station 20th anniversary celebration. I'm not sure what that consists of, but we'll learn more.
It has not been planned yet.
Oh, it hasn't been planned yet.
Yeah, we just, yeah, it was a great idea from Logan, and we're considering it as an option during Bike Month. Yep.
Sounds great. May 18th is the Ride of Silence. That's at 7 p.m. I'd love to see a good turnout at that. It's going to start at Dixon Middle School. Lucy Ordaz always heads that up, and her kids at the middle school, and they do a great job. May 20th, Bike Collective is an evening social ride around 6:30. Possibly, it sounds like cargo e-bike roundup for that night. May 21st, in association with, in collaboration, I think, with Hobble Creek Bicycle Association, or it's put on by them. They're going to do a screening of the Motherlode documentary. May 27th, Bike Collective night social ride at 9 p.m. And then May 28th is a tentative service project date. And then we've got quite a few other things. Aspen, who was on earlier, who had to hop off. She is with the city. They're going to do a bike-in movie. And she had some different dates in mind. So they're looking at different parks, maybe Lions Park, maybe somewhere else. And they're thinking about screening Napoleon Dynamite. There's the Timpview Tactical Urbanism. There's Fun Underground Forest Race. These next few events are the Bike Collective. So Kira, if you want to jump in on anything, Intro to Bike Camping, Basic Bike Maintenance, and the Alley Cat Ride. So those are all events that may happen, but we don't have dates yet on those. So that's a lot of events for May.
It's always a busy and fun-filled month. Thank you, Heather. And just for awareness for everyone, as we nail down the dates on these items, we'll create a schedule, and we have a website that we always host during Bike Month to help keep you organized on what's happening and when. But just get ready to participate and join us in as many events as you can. One of the first Heather mentioned is the Bike to Anywhere Day on May 5th. So put that on your calendars now so that you can plan to ride that day and participate in the breakfast station. With that, if there are any local businesses that you think would be a great candidate for a breakfast station, Erin and Heather can help you get them some information if they're interested in participating. So as you're kind of going around to businesses in Provo as a customer or an employee, consider that as an option. Heather, anything else for Bike Month that we need to make people aware of today?
No, I just say if you do have ideas, maybe jump on it quickly, like in the next week or so, because I think they want to try to get everything kind of hammered down by mid-April. So we're up on that.
And then one more thought I had, and I should have consulted our leadership team, but our next monthly meeting is May 5th, which is Bike to Work or Anywhere Day. I was thinking that it might be more beneficial to move our next monthly meeting to the last Thursday in April instead, but I don't want to disrupt things either because this is very regular occurrence, the first Thursday of the month. Any thoughts, opinions on that? Is it going to be too busy to meet next month at the same time, or should we move that up a week? Any thoughts?
I like having it during bike month.
Okay.
I know we've got a lot on our calendars, but I think it's also an opportunity for other people to join and
okay, so here's your assignment
maybe
then.
we do something in person and
Oh yeah, you might be able to. Okay, your assignment then is when you go to Bike to Anywhere Day on Thursday, May 5th, make sure to tell people that they can join the monthly meeting that evening. And we can get some good participation that way and introduce some new people to the organization. Okay, awesome. I'm seeing some chats. Logan asked, has UDOT ever hosted a Bike to Work or Anywhere station? Oh, is Matt still on? I don't see him. So we can ask.
That would be a
yes,
question.
they have at the Front Runner station.
No,
haven't
that's
they?
that's UTA. That's
oh, okay.
UTA. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a question, Logan, for Heidi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we are over time. Thank you all for participating, for being here, and for all the work you do. We appreciate you and looking forward to Bike Month. We'll see you all in person, I think, during those events. So reach out if you have questions. Follow Logan on Instagram. Logan, did you put your thing in the chat? Hurry and put your Instagram handle in the chat. And we'll talk next month. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.